Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started with my lesson, as always, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations and blessings to the Akim that do this work in truth and in sincerity. Lord willing, this video will be edifying and to the point. All right, and the title, all right, of this lesson is, all right, misery loves company. All right, misery loves company. And, a few things, that me and the brothers were speaking about, over the weekend, after camp. All right, it's basically how, the pleasures and the things of these people are being taken away from them. Their jobs, their day-to-day living, okay, the money that they get from these jobs, all right, to, participate and dwell in these, dwell in their wickedness, all right, is being taken away from them. So therefore, it makes them mad, it gets them in the uproar, it gets them angry, all right, because they can't dwell in their wickedness. Okay, so, they feel as if, all right, they need to make you feel a certain type of way. So let me get this real quick. Let me get the definition of misery loves company. All right. And it says the saying means people in pain or unhappiness often find comfort in sharing it with others, like suffering feels less heavy when you are not alone. Okay, again, the saying means people in pain or unhappiness often find comfort in sharing it with others, like suffering feels less heavy when you're not alone. So basically, when these people, are feeling miserable, okay, feeling down, feeling out, feeling hopeless, all right, they basically, all right, sharing that emotion with you by trying to make your day, all right, bad. All right, trying to be a demon towards you, trying to be hateful towards you, trying to be inconsiderate, all right, just being an all-out demon, man, all right. And, basically, all right, that's, prophecy. That's Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, doing it to them, all right, putting these judgments basically upon them, man, all right. And you would often, feel, basically, okay, Shalaki Hakim, I don't know what happened there. The video just abruptly came to an end for whatever reason. But as I was saying, when these people are, angry and mad, and they put that anger and that, that whatever they're feeling towards you, you feel, offended in a way, man. But, wisdom would tell you that, basically it's just the Lord doing what he's doing to them, man, putting that spirit on them, man. All right, because ultimately, these people is in gross darkness. The Lord has put them in the gross darkness, which, has basically put a dark cloud over these people's head. All right, because they've lived in wickedness for so long. All right, and the Lord's basically putting an end, all right, to that joy, man. All right, to that happiness. All right, let me get this real quick. All right, this is Isaiah 60:2. It says, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. So, these people, man, they got a gross darkness put upon them, man. All right, the spirit of gross darkness, all right, is basically put upon these people, man. All right, because they're not into the light, man. All right, they don't have the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai that answers, all right, to why these things are happening. All right, all they're trying to do and figure out is how they can bring things back to normality, to, or normal, or what they would say normal is. All right. And, you know, they feel defeated, man. They feel down. They feel out. All right. And they don't know how any other way, all right, to, you know, deal with it, but besides lashing it out at everyone around them, man. All right. So, yeah, that's just the spirit that the Lord put on these people, man. All right. And we, you know, we have to know and consider the times that we're in. All right. Let me get this real quick. All right. This is Baruch chapter 4, verse 29. It says, for he that have brought thee, it says, for he that brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy with your salvation. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. All right. So, you know, basically in these times, all right, we have the truth. We have this understanding. All right. And that's what gives us, you know, comfort in these times. You know, wisdom and knowledge, as the scripture says, shall be the stability of thy times. I'm always, you know, quoting that scripture, you know, because, you know, that's what sticks. All right. When it comes to this, it says again, take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he have given thee thy name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflict thee and rejoice at thy fall. So, you know, basically, you know, the heathen, man, they've basically rejoiced at the fall of our people, man, the fall of the Israelites. All right, that spoke about, all right, in Psalms, man. All right, how the heathen have basically came up with a confederacy, all right, against us, all right, agreement, all right, to destroy us as a people. So now miserable are those, all right, who came up against us, all right, to destroy us as a people, all right, and rejoiced at our fall. Now miserable are they, all right, because these curses are basically falling upon them. It says, miserable are the cities which their children serve. Miserable is she that received thy sons. For as she rejoiced at the it says, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own destruction. So, you know, basically, these people are grieving, man. They're depressed. All right. Depression is at an all-time high. These people are on depressions. All right. Another thing, me and the brothers are speaking about, people on kind of opioids and, you know, all kind of antidepressants, all kind of medications these people be taking, man. All right. To suppress, all right, what they're feeling inside, which is that emptiness. All right. That feeling of, you know, being defeated and down and miserable and all these things that they're feeling. All right. You know, the Lord is basically putting it on them, man. All right. Because we once, all right, had to, you know, go through that as a nation and as a people. All right. Now they're feeling the effects of that. All right. Now the Lord is plaguing them with those, all right, sorrows, man. All right. And their joys and what makes them, you know, happy and all of that. And their, the things that they take pleasure in, wickedness, is being taken away from them, man. All right. Their little pleasures. All right. So they're basically losing it, man. All right. Again, unaliving themselves, crashing out on other people. All right. Just all kind of things are going on in the earth, man. All right. But that's just the spirit that the Lord is putting on these people, man. All right. It says, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own destruction. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. So that's basically what's happening here in Babylon the Great, man. Their pride is being turned to mourning, man. All right. And then Second Esdras, all right, speaks about what? How their city shall be destroyed because of their pride. All right. So it's the Lord that is doing these things, man. Because they what? They lift their hand, their horn on high, man. All right. They trust in their earthly possessions. All right. So, you know, as the Apostle Ramla always say, and I always bring this out, how he goes into his guy, I think his name is Salente, George Salente, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he says, you know, when, you know, basically when people lose it, when they lose everything, roughly paraphrasing, man. So these people are losing everything before their eyes, all right, and they have no, you know, solution, all right, to how to fix it or how to bring things back to what they once knew, all right, and it's eating them up inside, and they're just, you know, losing their minds, man, all right, and it's going to get worse and worse, all right, as time goes on, all right. So let me get this last scripture and I'm going to end it on out. All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7. And it says, and the Lord thy God, Yahweh, will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. So that's basically what happened, man. The Lord is putting these curses on the heathen, man, and they feeling the effects of it. All right, and you can see it on their face and their countenance. All right, by how they carry themselves. They're in a slope. All right, they're walking around. All right, like when you see on the cartoons with a dark cloud over their head. All right, and they have no answer to it. All right, and it's all because the Lord, all right, is basically, you know, putting an end, all right, to Babylon, man. So, you know, again, the title of the lesson is Misery Loves Company. All right, and these people are in misery. So, Lord willing, this video was edifying. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations and blessings to the Akim that do this work in truth and sincerity. Until the next time, I say Shalom.